Walker, swim dodge, fires and scores! Skipping in step, behind the back! Pass, the extra look, and the goal! Shot on goal and good. We are now late afternoon at Stewart Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University, and we have crowned a third champion. Welcome to the Varsity Media Sports Network pre- and post-game show here at the Long Island Championships. Dylan Butler here, Mike Hungerford. And Mike, we knew that it would be a slugfest between Garden City and Comstock. It delivered, but so did the Trojans. Again, they make enough plays in key moments on both sides of the ball, and they beat Comstock 9-6. You see the score at the bottom of your screen, an 18th Long Island Championship for the Trojans of Garden City.
The beauty of Garden City is if you look at the program and you look at all the years Garden City's won, they've had some unbelievable teams that they've won by 15-5, but they got a bunch of games like this where they won 9-6, you know, and at Garden City, the beauty of them, to me, it's all about winning. It's all about being successful and getting to play the next game and still be alive and not end the season. And they're masters of it. They're some of the very best at it.
We'll show you some of those highlights now of this one, and it starts early. There was a 3-minute, you see the fans there from Comstock getting excited on this rematch of the Class B championship game. Early on, a penalty against Garden City leads to a 3-minute man up, but how about Owen Wukta? We're going a little man down, 10-man ride. The freshman doesn't scare, scores the goal. And look at this. Great ball movement for GC. Luke Schmidt finishes the pass from Fargione. But Comstock is fighting their way back. You see Katz scoring the goal. It's now 5-4 Comstock in this one. But then Garden City, you knew they would have the response, and the response was immediate. One goal by Henry Gibbons. How about a second by Gibbons as well? Two massive goals, followed by this one by Stevie Fennell with 8:59 left in the fourth quarter, and all that's left to do is the celebrating, and they know how to do that here. It's ingrained in them, Mike, I feel like, from a young age to have those moments. A Long Island Championship win for Garden City, 9-6 over Comstock, and now we're joined by a couple of their stars, as well as, of course, head coach Steve Fennell as well. I almost feel at this point we don't need any introductions, but we'll do it anyway. It's Jack Cascadden, of course, and Mike Fargione. I guess first question, an obvious one. You knew that you'd be in for a battle. You emerged victorious. How does it feel?
You know, it's a great feeling. We worked really hard for this one. You know, we went day by day, put in the work, and you know, as hard as this game was, the hard work really was between Thursday and today. The hard work never stopped, and the coaches put us through the ringer, and we're appreciative of it. There's no complaints, and every day in and day out, we're going hard. So we owe it to these guys.
Mike, you guys have both won this a year ago, but the two of you guys are seniors. I'd imagine it's a little bit more of a special feeling, or I should say the three of you guys are. It's got to be a special, maybe a more special feeling, right? Knowing that your time at Garden City is kind of limited right now.
Yeah, both of them were special. Last year felt great. This one feels even better. Come back, Hofstra, win another one. It's just a great feeling. I don't have any more words to describe it. Great job by the defense. Great job by the offense. Great job by Jack at the faceoff X, giving us a lot of offensive possessions. That 3-minute penalty in the beginning, that slowed us down a little bit, but we were able to stay focused and put the ball in the back of the net, and here we are.
Yo, guys, what was the feeling? It got to be 4-4, right? I think it was.
Well, then Comstock took a 5-4 lead.
5-4 lead. When it was 5-4, what was what's the thought process? You know.
When it was 4-4, we just had to regroup, focus back up. We knew we could pull this one out. Great group of guys, day in and day out at practice, feeling great, playing well, and just great job all around.
We see the trophy there, and Brendan, you know, it's funny, as you guys just talked about, you know, you had to kill at the very beginning that 3-minute penalty, but then Wukta, right? Like, yeah. Is that one of those you better make this shot kind of things? I mean, they're in a 10-man ride, the net's open, but the freshman buried it, man.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even think it was going remotely near the net until it started trickling in. I thought he just kind of cheaped it because he was under pressure, but that was huge. I mean, coming off the 3 minutes, the stoppage there, hopefully he's okay, by the way, just saying that. But, that gave us some juice, really fired us up again, got us back to what we were feeling like in the beginning of the game. And, they were able to come back, take a lead, but I think we were resilient, and we were able to stick together as a group of guys and, put it away.
We'll go to your head coach now. Steve, to have these guys be in these big situations before, it's 5-4, it's at Hofstra, their crowd is excited, their momentum is with Comstock. Does it help? I'd imagine it helps to have guys who have been through this before for you.
Absolutely. These guys have played football and lacrosse for me and for our program, so a little battle tested. And not all the conversations between us are always positive. You gotta, it goes back and forth, but they know I love them. And I think we showed some resiliency. I really think the tie up there at the end of the third was huge. Jack did a fantastic job at the X. But it doesn't. You don't have 100% possession all the time, right? You try to make a play, doesn't always work out. Lot of heart and resilience from the guys today. I just thought it was a great team effort. Last year we didn't get to advance past this. Kids are pumped to go to the state Final Four on Wednesday.
Yeah, and imagine when you come to June, right? I mean, you relish the chance to practice. Maybe in March it might be a little bit tough coming off of a football season and basketball, whatever else you're playing. But when it's June and the weather's like this and you just won a championship, I'd imagine you must love to get back out of practice.
One another day.
We'll get to practice tomorrow, which is awesome. It'll be a light one. These guys worked hard today. I would hope so. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and just look, Jack and Brendan especially, all you guys going on to college, we know, you guys are going to Cornell. We just saw them in the national championship game. So a lot of, great things on the horizon. But how much are you looking forward to now? Again, a few more days with these guys, with the Trojans, and the opportunity to perhaps, if you do the business on Wednesday, to be back here competing for a state championship.
Yeah, it's nice to look on in time and see that me and Brendan will have 4 more years together at Cornell. But right now, it's about this. It's about wearing the white and red. It's about wearing Garden City. We're treasuring the last moments we have together. And yesterday after practice, Coach Fennell looked at us dead in the eyes, just like, you're hanging your practice jerseys up in the locker room, and you're going to have to earn these back. And that's when it was kind of like our stomachs dropped, and we were like, wow, this is real. So, it was one of those moments where we realized that there's a finality to it. And Coach emphasizes it every day that there's a finality, and we're working for it. And one of the things we like to emphasize is working for another day. Nothing's given to you and everything's got to be earned. So that's the mentality we had going into this game, and we'll continue to have throughout the state finals if we make it.
Well, you guys definitely earned it. Congratulations on another Long Island championship, and best of luck going forward in the state tournament.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Garden City guys, another Long Island championship for them. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it.
Good luck, Jack.
So we'll take a quick break. You getting hungry, Mike?
Starving.
All right, we got Mike's Underground Pizza. You can smell it over here. It's gonna be
Coach
great.
Soper coming in for the review.
Soap's coming in as well. We'll have that coming up next right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
An event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event? Look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts,
Thunder, and what a look!
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Hofstra Stewart Stadium, and it's always one of the greatest things that we do here at Varsity Media, I feel like. I want to welcome in, of course, Brian Soper as well. Mike Hungerford's been here all day, and listen, we've done this from the football season through basketball, now lacrosse, and it's kind of our finale too. And we may have saved the best for last, guys. This is Mike's Underground Pizza. If you've not heard of it yet, that's fine. You will soon. It's a small kitchen. It's rented in Amityville's area, right? Here you see it. Authentic New York style pizza. Mike's of Amityville.com. That's important as well. They only deliver between 12 and 8 p.m. You have to text them. It's kind of like, you know what it reminds me of, guys? Like, remember Rounders, right? Like the underground sort of places to gamble. It's kind of has that feel, right?
Yeah, I just read online. It says it's the speakeasy of pizza. So,
they sell fireworks too? You get fireworks there?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, their pizzas are banging. That is for 100% sure. The dough goes through this really long fermentation process, right? So it's kind of like similar to wine or beer, right? And it makes it a little bit different. It creates a more flavorful and digestible crust. It does take more time, but, you know, Mike believes that, listen, it's worth the time that you put into it too, right? We'll show you in a moment that the pies are slightly on the well-done side. It's true New York style pizza, right? You need to have that.
Fine with me.
You got the slight char. It adds that complexity to the pie where you get the right amount of char, the creaminess of the mozzarella, the tang of the tomatoes, the saltiness of the grated pecorino, the locatelli. You tie it all together.
It's all about the ingredients.
It's all about the ingredients. And one of the cool things, again, is kind of adds to this kind of secret society, right, of Mike's Underground. They only make a limited amount of dough, right? I mean, this guy, he puts so much effort into each of these pies. Once the dough is done for the week, it's done. Next week, right? You could text them and be like, hey, I want to order a pie. Sorry, we got no dough. Check in with us next week. So
no dough for you.
They have a catering and family meal menus. They're available for all-day delivery. That's 7 days a week, but incredible stuff. We have James, our intern here, part of our process. He not only takes great pictures, but he helps with the presentation. That is the Clams Casino pie. Incredible stuff. How about the pepperoni? James, there you go. Little pepperoni action. And the Sicilian is incredible looking, guys.
How you doing?
Crusher. Sicilian's a crusher.
All right, so that's just some of what they offer. It's mikesofamityville.com. And I think there's no time like the presents, guys. We got to dig in.
I'm ready.
All right,
Two things I love: lacrosse and pizza.
And we
marry
them together here on the biggest day of the year.
Perfect. Look at this.
All right, so James is going to get. Well, you don't have to give us the whole pie, James.
Yeah, I mean, it's only Hungy. He's going to take this one.
All right,
here we go. Clams.
Here we go. There's a team effort here.
Sure is.
There we go.
There you go.
That's for Mike.
All
little
right.
clams action. I'll take the pepperoni.
Clams a little bit of a white pie look. White pie look.
There we go.
Pepperoni. That's a little.
Soap's going to get a little.
I'm getting a Sicilian corner.
Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's like you actually have to take Mike. You actually got to take the bottom piece with it.
Yeah, it's got like a.
It's together. Wow, eating a lot of pizza. For me to say I haven't seen something, that's saying something.
This is Mike's Underground.
Mike's
all right,
Underground.
you guys ready?
Here we go.
All right, here we go. Wow.
Got some of my microphone.
We're almost
here.
speechless. It's hard not to get this guy to talk. What do you think?
The Sicilian's lights out good, right? It's got that crunch. It's got a nice sauce to it. You know, I'm a corner guy, so when it gets a nice crisp on there, that's tremendous. So, you know, I don't know if we're rating them or whatever. This is top notch.
Top notch is a good rating. For the pepperoni, right? You got the saltiness as he said. I mean, everything is incredible. I'm
gonna go in for a Roni. You talked me into it, my man.
And I was super interested in this. This is a different kind of slice.
Thin slice clams casino. Got the clams. It's got a little of I'm thinking of a sense of maybe a little bacon in there, maybe somewhere along the way. It's kind of flavor. I kind of like it. Really, really good. Smooth. Very good.
Listen,
I'm on the well done side, but I like the well done side.
Yeah.
That pepperoni's ridiculous.
Right?
It's so good. I mean, kind of, you know, in New York City, Prince Street, right, they do a similar type of pie, right, with the Roni. They become so crispy, and they fill up with, like, that Roni juice, I guess, and it's just fun. It's so good.
Listen, Mike, he's just, it's incredible what he does. He's an artist, right? I mean, this is kind of being an artist, and
really good,
his craft.
Mike, you got to go Roni,
is
Mom.
pizza.
Mike, you got it. I mean,
We have other guys looking for pizza here too.
I don't know.
All right,
Come
All
on,
right, add
Mike.
that to your.
Come on. You got to take a bite.
All right, so again, it's
I'm
Mike's
done after this, yep.
of Amityville.com. Text them, man. You know, it's well worth it. You kind of be in the Amityville area, but listen, what I think is just go to
Crusher.
right.
Oh,
That's sick. Listen, go to anywhere in
there's no going
Amityville.
back.
No, I mean,
Go to anywhere in Amityville. Park your car. Text them. Say I'm here. I'll be here for an hour. I don't care how long it takes.
Your neighborhood slice is a bad step down.
yeah.
All right.
No
now
offense.
listen. The all-important question, right? I know the answer, but we just want to hear you say it. Does Mike's Underground Pizza pass the test?
This absolutely passes the test.
There you go. It
Mikey
passes
likes
the
it.
test.
Mikey likes it.
Mike's Underground Pizza, thanks so much for feeding us, for feeding the crew. More of our preview coming up. It's the Class C Championship.
We got one more to go here. This is pretty good stuff. We got Class C.
Yeah, it's going to be great stuff. Class C Championship coming up right here. Coming up next, we'll get the preview going on Varsity Media Sports Network.
Stand out from the competition with a Varsity Media college recruiting video. A college recruiting video from Varsity Media can help save money on college tuition and land a spot on the team. We use your best plays with our custom editing effects set to music to ensure a college coach sees your athletic skills. Contact us today to book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net. For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Stewart Stadium. It's the finale of the Long Island Championships. And before we get into breaking down the Class C matchup, let's again thank our sponsors today. Of course, Breakout Goaltending Group. If you want to be the best goalie you can be, it's Breakout. Long Island's finest goalie training company. Call 877-GOAL-121 or breakoutgoaltending.com. We also want to thank the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation, whose mission is to spread the positive spirit of lacrosse and support the highest ethical standards for all participants through annual initiatives, which include targeted grants, scholarship programs, lacrosse educational clinics, and events to raise awareness and resources in support of the game. And, of course, a special thanks as well to Mike's Underground Pizza. Incredible stuff, Mike Hungerford. Really a great way for us to kind of go in now to this final game of the day.
I'm on a carbohydrate overload right now. I don't know if I can even process what's about to happen here next.
We'll walk you through it. We'll be good. We'll
Thank
be all
you.
right.
Thanks for the assistance.
What we'll do for you first is we'll show you the bracket for Suffolk Class C. And listen, this was chalk, and it was as expected in terms of the top two teams. A year ago, that wasn't the case. Shoreham-Wading River a year ago lost to Bayport Blue Point, but this time Shoreham makes its way to the championship game. We were out there at Mount Sinai on Senior Day when Mount Sinai, in a battle of undefeated teams, defeated Shoreham-Wading River. They met again for the championship. We'll show those highlights in a moment, but we'll first show you the bracket for Nassau County. And it was similar there as well. The only slight hiccup, you would say, was Southside as the 3 seed beating a really good Seaford team that gave the Class D champions, who ended up being in the regular season, right, the CD champion, Cold Spring Harbor, a run for their money as well. Seaford was very good this year. Southside beats them. They go to take on Manhasset and the Indians. So this is a rematch of last year's championship game, which was out at East Islip High School. A phenomenal game, right? Arguably the game of the year It was won at the buzzer practically by Joey Spallina, who scores the winning goal after a monsoon, after all kind of craziness out of East Islip. We're fortunate not to have that situation here. But when we spoke with guys like Spallina and Terenzi and like kind of even the Long Island lacrosse community wanted this again. They wanted round 2 between Mount Sinai and Manhasset. Mike Hungerford here at almost 6 o'clock. We've got 13 minutes left. We have that rematch on the final game of the Long Island Championships.
Sure, as you just said previously, a year ago, there was a game. It was probably considered the game of the year by most people in Long Island, and a shortened season coming out of COVID. And this year we were lucky enough to get back to having a regular season. And once again, from start to finish, all everybody wanted to do was get to this moment, right, and have the opportunity in Class C to have Manhasset and Mount Sinai go at it again and really, and see who can win. And I think, Mount Sinai brings in a team, maybe the best team in school history, and a generational type player. And Manhasset brings what Manhasset always is, right? Some very good players and really good coaching and interesting dynamic.
Let's show you how these teams got here to this stage. First, we go out to East Islip High School, where Mount Sinai trying to stay perfect with a second straight Suffolk C title. Look at Lucas LaForge, the dunk in front. He had 6 and 1. Austin Oppenheim, clean face-off win. Watch this. LaForge, Cole Marsala, tic-tac-toe. The Mustangs are rolling. But we know that Shurham's got ballers too. How about Franny Cortez with the lefty rip? Let's not forget Braden Wilkin. The junior had 11 saves, including this really nice low stick save in the fourth quarter. And now history was made. Joey Spallina gets his way in front, bullies his way in. That goal with 2:27 left was career point 501, making him Long Island's all-time points leader, surpassing Nicky Galasso as the Mustangs go back-to-back in Suffolk Class C. You see Spallina there looking to add on to that incredible number, 501 career points. How did he get there? Let's show you those numbers right now, and it's really remarkable. I think we said it earlier, Mike. I think one of the things that impresses me most here is that the consistency by which that Spallina has been able to do that, that's been one thing that's impressed me. The fact that it, again, is goals and assists, right? Even look at his numbers this year. He's got 88 assists to 75 goals, right? Far more assists, more of a playmaker there. And the third thing that just boggles your mind is this is with a COVID season, his sophomore year, right out of the window. That's incredible to think what he could have done if he had a sophomore season.
Pretty amazing, really to think about. 500 points in that period of time is just astronomical. And you can talk all the superlatives about Joey all you want, but I happen to know him pretty well and his family, and he is as good of a player as he is. He's a better person, and that's really cool. And then, if you keep getting told how great you are, it'd be easy not to be such a great person sometimes, I think, when you're a kid, But he is everything that you want in a person. If you're a high school coach, he's everything you want your best player to be. And I think that's why they're such a good team, is because he represents all of that.
And that's the thing. He's been told that from a very young age, right? Playing with those smash teams, right? With Brennan O'Neill and Andrew McAdory and others like that. You see the scoring list right there, though. That's some rarefied air, right? Some thought that perhaps Nicky Galasso's number of 500 would never be broken. See Jim Zafudo there from Elmont. Timmy Rotans, of course. Shoreham Wading River as well. Chris Ritchie, another Mount Sinai standout. And Tom Palasek as well from Rocky Point. Great company to be in for Joey Spallina, and listen, he aspired to get this number, but he did it, as you mentioned, in the team concept, right? These weren't situations where he was scoring 13 goals in a 20-1 win, right? This was hard-earned goals, a team concept, getting the assist as well, and it's what you want from a guy of his caliber, the top-ranked player in his class.
Absolutely, he's a top-ranked player for a reason. He can do it all. He can play. He can shoot. He can feed. He can dodge. He can ride. He rides. He's a tremendous rider. One of the very best high school riders I've been around. I've been lucky enough to coach, Matanowski and Ian Laviano, two of the very best also riders you would have in high school. But he's a tremendous rider and picks up ground balls. And probably if he had to drive the bus here, he'd get that done as well. So awesome stuff.
So that's Mount Sinai, Joey Spallina, and let's take a look at how Manhasset got back to Sherwood Stadium. They're taking on the Cyclones, number 3. Southside scores the first 2 goals of the game. They get the first punch on the defending county champs. Big one here from Matty Perfetto. His first of 2 goals, 49 seconds left first quarter. That goal remarkably sparks an 11-0 run for Manhasset. They turned it on after the return trip to Hofstra because of the lightning delay and postponement. An 11-0 run. Liam Connor, 4 goals, 2 assists. Jack Peterson, 3 goals and assists. And Joey Terenzi, the number 3 ranked player in the class of 2022, 2 goals and an assist. The Indians win it 14-4, and they capture a 19th Nassau title, second only in Nassau to Garden City, their rivals. So how do these two teams match up, right? We knew how close it was a year ago, and let's take a look at the tail of the tape. You see their national rankings. Mount Sinai second in the country by USA Lacrosse Magazine. You see Manhasset also in the rankings. Look, their goals per game is practically the same. 13-8, 13-7. A little bit of difference there in terms of goals against. A little bit better for Mount Sinai there. The winning streak is substantial. Mount Sinai has a 21-game winning streak. That goes back to last year. Their last loss was that regular season loss in overtime to Shoreham-Wading River. Then they won their last, I think, 4 games in the Long Island titles. Obviously, with the rich history of Manhasset lacrosse, they've got a few more of those with 14 Mount Sinai going for their second. So Mount Sinai, we talked about Joey Spallina, but there's others as well, right, who will help lead them if they are to win this championship game, and some terrific players as well. Look, we talked about him early on, Cole Marsala. What a great player he is. Part of that attack line of Spallina, LaForge, Marsala. He's going to Quinnipiac. You see the numbers there for the junior. He is very good. Coretta as well. You loved his game when we were out at Mount Sinai going to Georgetown. See the senior right there, 25-6, and Dylan Seguider. He is just a freak, man. When he gets out there, we've seen some great long poles today. He is right up there with them. He's going to join all the Spallina boys going up to Syracuse. You see his numbers there, 2-1. But back to Coretta, I know he was a guy that really impressed you our time out at Mount Sinai.
Well, they don't play a lot of midfielders at Mount Sinai. They really play 3 to 4 middies for the whole game. So Coretta plays and Jake Spallina log a tremendous number of minutes for them, and Coretta does so on the offensive end just like Spallina does on the defensive end. He's tough. He's physical. He'll play the game anywhere you want to go. You want to go fast up and down, he'll do that. You want to play slow and grind it out, he'll sign you up for that. And I think there's no better guy to go to Georgetown and play for a coach like Kevin Warren than a guy like James Coretta. And Seguider in the middle of the field, yep. When they get that 10-man ride going, he prowls around and he hunts you, and you better have your stick protection and run to empty space, because he'll find you. He's got great trail tracks and he's very dangerous.
For Manhasset, if the Indians are to win, likely these guys will play a large role. Joey Terenzi, we said it last year as well, right? Number 1 ranked, number 3 ranked, so they're right here. He should play a big role in this one as well. The Virginia commit, 17 goals and 16 assists. That was one of the things for me last year that was a lasting image, watching Lars Tiffany and Gary Gate kind of outside the fence at East Islip standing together, watching their future players there as well. We could have gone a few different ways on the attack line, but I think Liam Connor has really elevated his game in this postseason. Connor, the Colgate commit, 37-14, and look, it's going to come down. It always does come down, the importance of the faceoff X, right? You got Austin Oppenheim going to Albany for Mount Sinai, but arguably the best, if not the second best on Long Island to perhaps Jack Cascadden is Cal Gerard. He's going to Duke. Gerard in that individual matchup in the Woodstick Classic, that overtime win by Garden City at Manhasset, he did win slightly over Cascadden. Cascadden did stay on late, but all 3 of these guys are ballers. A lot of other guys to perhaps have gone with, but they will be integral for Manhasset to win this game.
Right, but Gerard face-off battle against Oppenheim, and then the second part of it is the use of Jake Spallina to come in there and face off a little bit. And the interesting thing about Mount Sinai is if they can avoid having to use Spallina, if Oppenheim can battle Gerard, and you got to remember, all these guys face off not only during the season in these games, but they're all in club circles against each other in training, so they all know each other very well. If Oppenheim can hang in with Gerard and maybe go 50-50 or better, that'll go a tremendous way for Mount Sinai to win the game. If they need to use Spallina a little bit, because maybe Oppenheim's struggling a little bit, then obviously Spallina's ability to do other things changes, So that matchup will be key to watch throughout the game, And Dylan, one thing I'd like to add is in all these kind of games, there's always a player that's under the radar because all the stars come out, but they all play against each other and they kind of balance out a little bit. I don't know if anybody's going to balance out with Joey Spallina, but in the previous game you had Gibbons all of a sudden came through with a big game for Garden City, and he certainly wasn't one of the key guys you were thinking of when the game started, but good player, and the ball found his stick and he found some goals, right? And there's some guys today, a guy like Jack Peterson from Manhasset, a Cole Marsala, those are the kind of guys who it may come down to them in this kind of games.
Or even Gavin Takis, right? He's a guy who does a little bit of everything for Mount Sinai.
Absolutely, Lucas Lafleur. Who's going to be the guy? But who's going to be the other guy? Who's going to be, maybe not the number one guy who's going to have a big game and change the flavor here today.
Let's take a look at the final or the last few champions in Class C. You see Mount Sinai going for the repeat. A lot of Cold Spring Harbor in this. Islip as well, that great Islip team. Babylon, a lot of Shoreham Wading River, right, with Chris Gray, Xavier Arline, all those great teams for Shoreham Wading River. But this year it's Mount Sinai in Class C. And listen, Cold Spring Harbor, you can make the argument, even though they were in Class D, if they were a Class C team, look, they beat Manhasset this year. They could, given their makeup and the different personnel that they have, they could have given Mount Sinai a run for their money.
Absolutely. They have some people you could play a little bit of that with, some different matchups, some very good defenders on Cold Spring Harbor would be an interesting matchup for the Mount Sinai guys. I do believe some of the defenders on Cold Spring Harbor play club with Joey Spallina and they know each other pretty well. So interesting matchups it could be. But, as you saw those last winners, the inclusion now in the state of Class D, having a Class D, which on Long Island there are very few Class D schools, but in Westchester there's quite a few, in upstate New York there's quite a few. It changes the flavor of championships a little bit. And we just don't see it much on Long Island because there's only about 6 Class D schools in all of Long Island, 6, 7. I don't mean to disrespect anybody by the number, but that's about the number. But when you get to the upstate areas, there's way more. Briarcliff, Penn, name a few. Lafayette, name a few in upstate who are really good programs. So definitely a different dynamic.
So Manhasset and Mount Sinai, arguably the game of the year a year ago. Can the rematch, can the sequel match the original? It doesn't happen a lot in Hollywood. Let's see if it happens here today at Hofstra's Stewart Stadium. We're going to invite you guys to stick around with us, and we'll have the post-game for you as well. We'll have all the interviews, highlights as well, right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.